are here today with Lisa Easton, a wealth mentor and creator of Millionaire Morning Mamas Academy, where she helps women program their subconscious mind and embody a wealth mindset in order to attract the money they desire. Lisa is a client in my group coaching program, Scale with Success, where we help course creators generate predictable revenue with an evergreen business model, no launching required. And she grabbed my attention last week when she posted inside of our client community that in the first week of her evergreen funnel going live, she generated over $24,000 in revenue. Now, what makes Lisa's story even more interesting is that she is able to fill her evergreen funnel with Instagram reels and no paid advertising. So I went over to Lisa's Instagram reels and I just fell in love with her brand personality and her mission to help women build wealth so they can enjoy a life of freedom, options, and access. Not only is her content effective at driving people into her funnel, it's extremely enjoyable to watch. I wanted to invite Lisa to share some of her Instagram Reels wisdom and how she is using it to help more women inside her signature course. Lisa, welcome.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. I'm so happy to be here. That was a mouthful.
Yes, it really was. I had to take a breath at the end.
Thank you.
So let's get right to it because I have some questions about your content creation process for Instagram Reels. Instagram Reels is something that we have just started posting to in my own company. And so pretty much everyone on our marketing team is now getting obsessed with Instagram Reels and with TikTok and just like watching content all the time and figuring out things that, that we can do. And it's just been a really fun brainstorming time. And I feel like for so long, social media was just like the same. It was like the same on Facebook, the same on Instagram. And now, and I really do feel like TikTok really like led the way in this. And then of course, Instagram Reels kind of happened after that. Yes. But like the type of content that is performing now is very different than the type of content that used to perform. So before we get into all the Instagram tips, what made you want to transition to an evergreen business model? And why did you choose Scale with Success to help you do it?
Okay, so I started my business 2 years ago. So February 3rd made 2 years on social media, launching my coaching business. And so I always knew that I wanted to come out of active income and move into passive income. That was always my intention. And so the one-on-one coaching, I started that way. Then I started with groups. And then I realized that it just wasn't sustainable, the amount of visibility that I had to have and always live launching. I couldn't sustain that for the long term. So I knew I needed to go evergreen. I knew I needed to package my course. So I worked on that last year. That was my number one goal, was just getting my course done and put up and all organized. And then I knew that I was going to find an expert to help me scale it and turn it evergreen. And so there were several options, and you and Scale with Success just came in at number one for my team. I mean, we were all on the call and no one walked away thinking differently. We're like, this is the way, right? Like this course can take us to exactly what we wanted, which was evergreen, right? That was my number one focus. So I wasn't focused on, doing all kinds of other things. I just wanted that first. And so that's why we chose Scale with Success, and that's why we chose your course, and I love it.
I love that. And there's so much, I love that you mentioned this idea of passive income, because I know that one of the things that you are really passionate about is helping women really build the life that they want and attract the wealth and money in their life in order to build that life. And one of the things that I am really passionate about is giving course creators just like you a high quality of life. So it's not just about like launching and adrenaline and like emotional roller coasters. Yes, that is one way. And you know what? Some people really love that way to earn money, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like if that's you, go for it.
Right.
But I feel like for so many of us, especially now, we're just tired of that. It's like, there has to be a better way in order to grow my business, impact more people, and without burning myself out or without burning my family members out for having to deal with me during those launch cycles.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I was going through. Was I was live launching quite a bit, right? I know how to run a business and I know how to make sales, but I was tired of making them live every time, right? I wanted to do this passively so I could be on a plane and I could be traveling and I could be at the beach and I could be, and my business is still making revenue. That was my goal. It has always been my goal. And I've been tunnel vision on that goal from day one. So I just knew that it was only a matter of time before I was able to get there. And I knew that I needed someone who was truly, truly an expert in this particular thing. And yeah, if you want to trade your time for money, there's nothing wrong with that. We need all kinds of wealth creators in the world. However, that just was not my path and my desire. And that's what I teach women, is that you can have the freedom, you can choose, right? And you do not have to trade your time for money. And that's what wealthy people do. They don't trade their time for money, right? And so that's always my laser focus. More passive, more streams, more streams.
Yes, I love that. So I want to start out by asking you, what is your most, so my coaching team was telling me that you've had a couple Instagram reels go real viral. And so I wanted to know, what is your most popular Instagram reel and how did you come up with that content idea?
So I have quite a few that have gone viral. So 500,000 and above, probably 5 or 6 or 7 of those. But my most recent one that went viral during the launch, which was just unbelievable, how the universe aligned it all, right? So I went viral, and 1.2 million views on this reel. And I couldn't believe it. So the way that this happened, very long story short, is that I received an email on January 1st from my recruiter, who I've worked with for years. She's gotten me in the career that I was in, right? So supporting ultra high net worth executives, et cetera. And she reaches out of the blue, like out of nowhere. I haven't heard from her in 8 months, right? And she reaches out and she's just like, listen, I know your Millionaire Morning Mamas thing is doing great, but you need to hear what I have on the table. It was basically a billionaire in my city who needed a chief of staff and a VP of events. And this would be my dream job. Okay, like my dream job. And it was $200,000 a year, all of the perks, flying private. I mean, I've done it all, right? So I knew what this would come with. And it was easy. It was an easy no for me. And so this reel was Celine Dion's song. And I was lip syncing it in my bathroom in my robe. And then I kind of did a quick flip, like transition. And then I was like dressed up and I was like singing it in the bathroom. And it went crazy. The title was, I Turned Down 200K on January 1st. And it just went crazy. And so that's the one that's the most popular. The second part of the question is, how did I choose it? I just love the song. I saw the audio. It was trending. I thought, wow, look what just happened. I should just tell this story in some way. And that's what I did. And it just took off. During launch.
That's crazy. And I also just want to clarify for everyone who's like, launch? Well, I thought you don't have to launch. It's basically, we call it a launch, but it's basically turning on your funnel. So you have everything all together and then you press on so that people can start to register and watch it.
Yes.
Now, the thing that I love about that is that on your path, that story is that on your path as an entrepreneur, it really is all about choices and the decisions that you make along the way. And I feel like it's very, very easy to continue to say yes to those opportunities that present themselves along the way, especially as you become more established and, and as you start to get more visibility. And the thing that I love about your story so much is that you were so clear on where you wanted to go that it made the decision easy for you, because you were like, well, hold on. Is that in alignment with my vision of having an evergreen course that is, selling on autopilot and I'm not exchanging time for money? no, that is actually not an alignment. So it's a no.
Yeah.
And being clear on that vision is just, it's so important. And it makes the decision so much easier.
It really does. And the thing that I loved the most about this is that it did go viral, but the response, the engagement, the women that were going, this spoke to me, like, oh my gosh, I needed this. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm talking thousands of comments, thousands. And to be honest, I do pretty much respond to every comment. I nurture a lot. And so it just blew me away that it was resonating so much with women. And they were going, you know what? I need to know my worth. I need to know my value. And that's what they were taking away from it, which, when you're creating these things, you don't have all of those things in mind, right? You're just like, I'm going to throw it out there. Let's see where it lands. But when it hits like this, oh my gosh, it was miraculous to see the response and how it impacted people's lives. And I was just thrilled about that.
And I can imagine a lot of other people that perhaps found themselves in that situation with that decision to make. And on some level, and maybe you even had this voice in your head, or maybe you didn't, but something like, well, who am I to say no to this $200,000 a year job opportunity? Like, yes. Who am I to do that? Absolutely. Was that going through your head at all? Or like, what was happening there?
No.
Okay.
Here's what was going through my head. So I'm so type A personality. So my boyfriend was there and I'm like, but babe, I can do both. I can do that. I can do this. Like I can do it all. And then I'm like, you know what? But $200,000 a year doesn't come close to what I anticipate to make in a year. I mean, I'm expecting to be making $100,000 a month. So to me, it's like that it doesn't add up, right, to what I need to do. So yes, I think I entertained it for like 60 seconds. And then I'm like, no, I need to continue pressing forward and doing what it is that I intended to do. I came here to do. And that would then take my time, right? And all of my energy and my life would be devoted to that. And then I couldn't continue to grow this. So that wasn't an option.
And it does take to show up as a content creator. It takes a lot of energy, right? Like energy management is so important. And that you really, like, if other things are happening that are really draining you and making you tired, then you're going to show up with that level of energy, and that is going to repel people. And as I'm going through your Instagram reels, you're so engaging, even in the videos, like you said, like you were lip syncing, like you weren't even talking, but you just have a really like amazing, how do you come up with so many different ideas that are all about like building wealth and attracting wealth? How, like, do you ever get bored of coming up with ideas? Like, how is this possible?
No, I never get bored of coming up with ideas. And to be honest, I am not anything special in that regard. So I don't want people to think, oh, she has like this creative, aspect. That's not it. I do my due diligence, right? So I look at the audios that are trending. I will not use an audio that's not trending, right? Because I want a bigger reach. So I do that. And then I look at other people that have used that audio to see what kinds of things they did. And then I go to filming. I do not think of what I'm going to say or what kind of copy I'm going to put on here or what I'm going to put in the description or what. I don't do any of that. I just record, batch, like back to back, just filming, right? I did like 8 before I came on today, right? So I just batch it all out. All of the filming is done. And then in the morning, before I get out of bed, after I do my money manifesting morning routine, I will just go in and edit 2 videos. Now I used to post 1 reel a day, but I do 2 reels a day now. And then I just edit it and I'm ready to go. It's set for 3 o'clock, it's set for 6 o'clock, and I'm done. And so some people do like to sit down and edit like their whole batch of videos. The only reason I don't do that is because I feel my vibe changes. And so I just want to be really connected to my current state of being and my current vibe. And so then I just do it daily, but it doesn't take 30 minutes. It's no time.
And it's a great example of leveraging your time, because in the 30 minutes, people might say, oh, 30 minutes, that's so long. Is it? Because it's making $24,000 a week. So exactly. I will give you 30 minutes of my time.
Perspective. Yeah. Nothing in comparison to the reward, nothing.
And the other thing that I'm really glad that you pointed out too, is like, you get to, if you're listening and you're like, you know what, though, I'm more of a batcher. I prefer to batch all of my content and fully edit it all out. and then just have it ready to post every day. You can totally do that, right? So Lisa she knows herself, she knows what keeps her excited, and she is going to lean into that. So we don't have to copy the exact process that someone else is doing. We have to figure out what works for us.
Totally. And when you do, stick with it. That's the thing. Be consistent and stick with it, right? I have a lot of people reaching out about Reels, as you can imagine, because of what I've had going on. And the biggest challenge is that people are just inconsistent. So they think that, you post 2 Reels, one should go viral. It doesn't work that way, right? Every Reel is not going to go viral. Even the bigger accounts, their Reels are not all going viral. Right? So you don't know which ones are going to go viral. I don't even think about what's going to go viral. I just think about putting out my content, nurturing my tribe, and making sure that I'm giving value, education, entertainment, insight, behind the scenes. I just keep it interesting, and whatever hits, it hits. And I'm thankful for it.
I love that. And I feel like, so we all hear, all the time, like consistency is good, consistency is good. And I feel like when you are very connected to your mission, so not just your vision of like what you want your business to look like, where you want to be, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, but your mission for why you are doing what you're doing, that it becomes a lot easier to be consistent, because that is what is lighting you up and getting you going. And that if you take these 30 minutes every day, that's going to allow you to be able to impact more people.
Yes. And I always teach this. The how is not my job, right? How things are going to happen is just not my job. But why I'm doing it, that's my job to keep in front of me, right? To keep in front of my mind, in the forefront of my mind, because that's what keeps me going. So I have 4 children, and I'm thinking I can spend time with them. And when they have babies, I can spend time with my grandbabies. I mean, that's what I'm thinking about, right? I just want the freedom. I want the freedom. So spending 30 minutes or 2 hours batching content is nothing to me. For what it's going to provide in the long run, it's absolutely nothing for me.
Yeah, I love that. Now, okay, here's the question, because I've seen a lot of content creators struggle with this, where they are creating amazing content and it looks so good and it is so engaging and they're racking up all the views, but that content is not actually driving people into, it's not taking people from, viewers to customers. Mm-hmm. So what are you doing on Instagram Reels specifically that is really driving people into your Evergreen funnel so that they're able to learn more about your program and determine whether or not it's the right fit for them?
Yeah. So the main thing for me is really making sure that I'm putting a CTA, a call to action, on every single video, right? So I do it in the actual video itself. So at the end, I'll always say, read the caption for more info, or read the caption, or check out the caption, or whatever the case may be. So I'm already instructing them while they're watching the video to go below and read. Then they get there, and then I'm giving them value. So I'm not just saying, hey, link in bio, right? I'm breaking down what I've shared in the video in more detail, right? To give them added value. And then at the end, I'm pushing them up to the link in my bio, whether it's my free lead magnet or it's the free webinar, it just whatever it is at the time, I'm pushing them there. However, there's always going to be this element of nurturing that has to take place, right? So they may not hit that link in the bio the first time. They're commenting, saying, yes, sis, or, love that. Oh, this, then I'm nurturing them, having a conversation. Eventually, I see them coming through the list of people, right, in the free webinar. So it may not happen right away. You have to follow that up with nurturing and making sure that they feel safe and secure with you. And so then it goes into the DMs, and then we're having conversations in the DMs. And I'm very interested. It's genuine. And that's just how I'm not making it up, right? I don't live my life pretending. Like, I'm actually genuinely interested in what's happening in their lives. And so we're having that dialogue. They move into the webinar, they convert into the course, and, the rest is history. That's just pretty much how it works.
I love that. And the thing that I'm always thinking of the next phase. So the next thing that I am really excited for you to do is to really grow and develop your team so that you have people on your team who can have an equally engaging conversation with all of those people that are sending you DMs in your comments. And like my vision for that is to have them be so good that those people actually, like, your audience actually prefers to talk to them. Like, they're like, oh man, can we get like, Alex on the line? Like, we don't want to talk to her, we want to talk to Alex, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's the dream. That's the ultimate goal for sure. Because I am doing it all myself right now. But I don't anticipate that will be for long, based on the way that we are scaling.
Yeah.
I don't foresee that happening for too long. But yeah, it would be great to have other people on the team really, really prepared to respond in a way that they like. Give me Lorma, give me Christy, that kind of thing. So we're working on that.
Yeah. And because you're doing it yourself, you're going to be able to better prepare them for what they need to do. Because I don't know, but like, I always learn by doing. So before I teach something, I have to do it myself and figure things out. And then I'm ready to help someone else.
Same for me. Yeah, for sure.
So I know we have a lot of listeners that are like, where can I learn more about Lisa? I need to get inside of her, of her program ASAP. I want to learn more. Where can people learn more about you?
Okay, so 2 places. Instagram is my primary platform. I always say Instagram is my jam, right? That is my primary platform. So it is at Lisa M. Easton. So don't forget the M in the middle, Lisa M. Easton, and millionairemorningmamas.com, millionairemorningmamas.com. You go to that website, you can look at the Academy. You can see everything about the Academy there. You can sign up for the free webinar. Everything is there for you. So I hope that I get to see some of your people or talk to some of your people soon, some of your listeners.
Yes, and I'm excited for that. And we'll make sure to include, if you're listening to this episode on our blog, all you have to do is look at the description and we'll have active links there so that you can click over and watch Lisa at work on her Instagram Reels. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being here, Lisa. I really appreciate your time. I love your message. I love, I'm all about helping women have the resources that they need in order to live the life that they choose to live.
Yes, by choice, right? Not by force, but by choice. And I am so thankful. I am honored. I appreciate you inviting me. And I have to say, Scale with Success has truly changed my business, but not just my business, my life. And I am so thankful for you and for all of the work that you've put into this. And I'm just beginning. I'm just starting. So I'm super excited. I can't wait to see what's ahead. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. And that's right. You are just getting started. So thank you for listening. And remember to check out Lisa M. Easton on Instagram. See you guys later.